Hey everyone, welcome to the On Speed Dial podcast presented by After the Tone. My name's Jacob. I'm here with Bailey, and today we have a special guest, Sarah May from Desert Luna Photo Booths. How's it going?
The photo booth girl.
Yeah, the photo booth girl. Photo booth girl.
That's how people refer to me these days, I guess.
Yeah, we're the phone people, so
Yeah.
you know,
I love it.
I get that.
They're like, hey, you, photo booth girl.
Like, that's me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Super stoked to have you. We're gonna talk
thank
a lot
you for
of,
having me.
of course, talk a lot of wedding stuff, event stuff, brand
Yeah.
tips, being in the industry. You know, lots of different stuff. We'll kind of just see where it goes. Fun fact for everyone listening: Desert Luna was the photo booth at our wedding back in 2019.
Yeah.
They've been crushing it for a long time. 5 years.
5 years now.
5 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I
That's
cannot believe it.
I don't, what was that stat about small businesses? Do you remember that? Like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Most small businesses don't make it over 5 years.
Yeah.
over 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and then to
You're
get
there.
to 10 is a real milestone.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Halfway there.
congratulations. That's amazing.
Oh my gosh, we made it through COVID.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We made it through all the changes. Like, we've been through a lot
Yeah.
over
Absolutely.
the years. So
Yeah, let's get into that. So,
Yeah.
Desert Luna Photo Booths. You've
Yeah.
been around for 5 years.
since the beginning of 2019.
Geez.
Yeah.
So the year we got married.
We started at the end of 2018, but I like
Sure.
to say my first year was
Like
2019.
first year in business. Yeah, totally. So what, give me a little bit about your backstory.
Yeah.
What were you into, like photos and then transition to photo booths, or like how did you land on a
Okay.
photo booth?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've always loved photography, but when I started, like, I guess doing it for a job, that's when I kind of fell out of love with it. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, it doesn't really resonate with me. And then at the time, I was in school and I was working for an interior designer. And then I came across a wedding planner that needed assistance. And I started working with her for a while and getting in the wedding industry. That's kind of when I fell in love with the wedding industry in general.
Yeah.
So I did wedding planning with her, which was awesome. Learned so much, and then started my own like styling wedding business, basically just styling and planning events.
Sure.
And then we did like shootouts. So I partnered with this girl out in Palm Springs. She did like shootouts basically for photographers and videographers. And so just kind of seeing that side of
Yeah.
the industry, which was amazing. And I just fell in love with that. And then when I was doing that for my business, Randall, my partner at the time, basically said, I want a photo booth. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I don't know what this entails, but let's just try.
Yeah.
So I felt like, in a way, the photo booth kind of found me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very much found me over the years.
Yeah.
And it's stuck. I love everything about it, like the camera gear, the tech, the innovation. Like, there's so much in the industry. It's very creative. It's a very like exciting, creative industry that I absolutely adore. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that you
fun.
say like it found you, and also when the idea was like brought upon, you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's go for it. Like I
Yeah.
love that mentality
well,
to try something.
at first it was a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this doing
But
in my
it's it.
living room, costing me money? I can't afford this right now. Like, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
But I basically was like, oh my gosh, I want to, and I say this to everyone that I come across and meet, I want to ruffle feathers in the industry and I want to stand out. That was always number one for me. I always say I want to F it up.
Yeah.
If I could cuss it.
Well, you can
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck it up, basically. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to make a difference in the industry in
Yeah.
some way and touch like so many lives that like it has that nostalgia, I guess,
Yeah.
and like that excitement. It's new, it's different, and just
Yeah.
bringing a new touch to the industry.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And I feel like that's exactly like when I was looking for a photo booth for our wedding, like
Yeah.
I found you and I was like, that's it. Like it was just so refreshing, like the fun backgrounds. I don't know if you use that background anymore, but it was like
not
silver.
recently because that is actually handmade.
okay.
So yeah, it's our silver confetti backdrop.
Yeah.
And basically, yeah, like Randall and I like stitched this whole thing together.
Wow.
When we
Obsessed.
started getting busy, I had to replicate it because
Really?
everyone wanted it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it wasn't the same. And so I was like, we got to get rid of this.
Yeah.
It's just not holding up when you do 300 plus weddings in a
For
year.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible. But yeah, I just wanted to mention, like, I absolutely love the photos from the photo booth from our wedding. And
Oh yeah.
I love
If you-
that your photos on your website.
yes,
that
it's
we
on
took.
our it's on our
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
website.
Yeah.
It just, I feel like when I look at those, I'm like, oh, that's what I wanted our wedding to
Yeah.
feel like, fun with our friends,
Yes.
natural,
Yeah.
and like great quality also, great quality photos.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell you that it's on our fridge and I look at it
Aw,
every single
love
day.
it.
And I love that. I like put a lot of,
Yeah.
I don't know, stuff that I love on our fridge, but there's like notes from our clients and like pieces of our wedding
Yeah.
day there. So
Everything you love that
yeah.
is close to your heart.
And you're
yeah.
on it. You're on our
Yes,
fridge.
I love it. Good. And see, that's another aspect of our business is most people put a photo booth strip on their fridge like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, what's something small that I could give to every client through
Yeah.
the years? And when I was like, okay, coming up with the ideas of like, I want to give something back to our clients,
Yeah.
but obviously doing 300 plus weddings a year is a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a big cost and investment to factor into everything. So I was
Absolutely.
like, how can I just like incorporate something small?
Mm-hmm.
So I do a postcard with a magnet and I deliver that to our clients right after they book us.
Oh, that's cool.
So they have the magnet on their fridge. So
Yep.
then when they actually get their photo booth photo, like strips
Yes.
back, yeah, they could put it on their fridge.
put it in there.
And then it just is branded with Desert Luna. And hopefully if they pass by it every day, subconsciously I'm in their mind,
Yep.
hey, a photo booth girl.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
my birthday next month. Like,
Yeah,
totally.
exactly. And then after the event, I send a little thank you card that says, here's 10% off your next photo booth booking with us. So,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right, so 5 years. That's,
whew.
yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot.
It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah, you've learned a lot. Let's talk about that journey a little bit. The
Yeah.
first couple years, COVID into 2024.
Yeah.
We'll talk rebrand, like all that fun stuff. But yeah, give me a little insight into that journey because we're into our third year, a little
Okay.
over our third
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess,
Oh, and you
technically.
guys have grown so fast. I
But
love it though.
yeah, even for us,
Yeah.
like I look back to 3 years ago and I'm like, man,
Yeah.
you just the things I thought then, or like the
Mhm.
lessons I've learned over 3 years, and I can't imagine what another 2 years would bring. So,
Yeah.
walk me through that a little bit. How's it been watching, your business grow, watching the industry, specifically
Yeah.
photo booths or like weddings
Totally.
in general? Yeah, go for it.
And honestly, I was thinking about this on the drive down. I was like, oh my gosh, I love that you guys have seen us pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have also dealt with the same things with like COVID and just kind of adjusting throughout the industry
Yeah.
through the years. Because, it's been a lot.
Big pivot.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
5
I'm
years.
sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I got started in 2019. So just trying to come up with an idea that was different.
Yeah.
Desert Luna was, Randall and I's idea. We fell in love under the desert moon. So that's kind of how that got started with the name. And so we just wanted to have something different. Usually in the photo booth industry, you see like smiley photo booth. Everything's about a smile. And just, it's a typical name, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, what could be so different and out there? So that's how we started with our photo booth name and just, wanting to be completely random.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was very intentional. And then we also put together photo booths, meaning we're going to grow and expand into something more.
Yeah.
We wanted more photo booths.
Yes.
So in 2019, I actually was like, in January, I'm like, okay, I need this thing working or we're getting rid of it. I need to figure this out. Like it's costing me money.
Yeah.
So basically I just said, okay, I'm going to give it 1 year, give it my all, see what happens and see where I go. So we just poured everything in and I just started creating and doing everything that I could to basically just like figure out the photo booth.
Yeah.
And in our first year, we did over 100 events.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then going into 2020, I believe in like November, December, I was having conversations with my friend Katie in the industry. We started a photo booth podcast, just resonating with photo booth vendors similar to us that wanted to stand out in the industry and be different, but be very unique and like high quality. I feel like at this time it was really just getting people aware of like what we offer, right? Like
Yeah.
our worth. Yes, we weren't charging a lot, but I was trying to really educate our clients. Like, hey, we're better than everyone else. We edit all the photos. We have high quality,
Yes.
like prints. Everything is high quality
Yeah,
and
premium.
Yes, I just feel like that's kind of where we stood out in many ways. So I just wanted to educate people in that light. And then we went into COVID in 2020, and that was just crazy because we were at the Photo Booth Expo. We were there with the podcast. I had released a whole backdrop collection. It was like so exciting, met everyone. And then, like, just a matter of like 2-3 weeks later, the world was being shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. And I had, I think it was like 150 events for 2020 that had to be postponed in 2021 or 2022.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
150.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, and we've talked about this before, like I saw from your perspective, like as a videographer, like that overnight. It was like
Yeah, probably 70% of my salary was gone.
canceled,
Yeah.
In like a month.
postponed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously as one person, like you can only handle like a certain amount of events, but
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
yeah,
I
150
basically-
between the two of you.
Yeah. I basically had to say to our clients, like, hey, like, this is our livelihood. This is everything that we do. Like, I had invested a whole year, and that was totally unexpected.
Yeah.
I said, if you guys can, like, help us get through this, like, just keep your payments the same. And next year, you'll be taken care of,
Yeah.
like, covered. It would help us tremendously.
Yeah.
I think we had one client ask for a full refund.
Wow.
Out of
a
all. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
50?
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. And I feel like that goes to show like just being honest
Yeah,
and human,
absolutely.
especially
Yeah.
during that time. Like everyone can relate to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
wow.
there's no events happening. And
Yeah.
like in our industry, it was like, okay, what can we do to like, I guess, figure out a new way of using a photo booth?
Yeah.
So that's when our like programming came out with like, say, a virtual photo booth experience. And so people were doing this virtually, but I'm like, okay, no one is going to pay for this. Like, I don't know. I just felt like it didn't really sit well with us for our business.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how to even sell this because people could just take photos with their phone.
Yeah.
Right.
And it just felt like nonsense in a way to me.
Yeah.
But now I feel like this is a new aspect of my business that I want to create is the virtual experience
Ooh, okay.
for corporate branded clients that are excited to do like brand activation.
Yeah.
So just doing something maybe on a worldwide spectrum.
I love
So
that.
that's new idea that I have coming out. So
That's so cool. Okay, so it's not released yet.
not
but it's
yet.
coming.
Yes.
Okay.
I've been testing it out and just seeing how it goes at events
Okay.
and just really getting out there and like seeing how we can incorporate the brand through a
Yeah.
full virtual experience
Yeah.
that can be basically worldwide. So
Wow.
I actually have it set up on our website. I
You
don't know
do?
if at the bottom it says experience their virtual experience on the homepage.
Oh my gosh, fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you could take a photo. It gets sent to you directly. So it's just a fun way to like kind of see. It's right there.
Which one?
Let's see, go down. Yeah, right there.
Ah.
Dive into
Ooh,
the
virtual
virtual
portal.
photo booth. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited to check that out.
Yeah. So you could do it
Super
all
excited.
online and just basically take a photo booth photo virtually.
So cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and so, oh my gosh, that is so
Do it.
cool.
I'll take a
Take one,
podcast
Jake.
photo.
Yeah.
Bad podcasting, but I'm taking a photo on her virtual experience.
I love it.
And then you could add like stickers to it. It's a full experience. So I feel like
Cool.
this will be huge for brands. Like
Absolutely.
Cheez-Its reached out to us last year. Yeah. To
Oh,
do
sweet.
a really cool
Jacob's favorite brand.
event out in the desert. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this would actually be really cool to do with like, say Cheez-Its, say Taco Bell does all those like pop-ups.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just reaching people on a bigger spectrum, right?
Yeah.
And like every brand wants to like learn about their demographic and all that good stuff. So
For sure.
yeah.
So, do you feel like, and I know you're probably going to ask
Mm-hmm.
this later on, but in the future, you're really expanding your brand to just obviously you do all types of events,
Yes.
but beyond weddings.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
bigger picture.
Yeah.
For sure. That's really cool. And I love that you've been testing it out too. I'm
Yes.
sure you get like tons of feedback from
Yeah.
brands and people. And I feel like that's just the best way
Yeah.
to figure something out.
So we actually did a really cool event with, have you heard of Super Mush? It's like a new mushroom company.
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard of it yet. But
Okay,
now
they're based
I'll look
in
'em up.
Venice.
Okay.
And I actually really love their product because it's all natural.
Yeah.
It basically is like creative mints, like
Ooh.
just shroomy stuff, but
Yeah.
without psychedelics, I guess.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So I felt like their brand aligned well with us.
Yeah.
And just like, yeah, being creative and different. It's
Yeah.
very cute. So they do like this like bicycle ride through Venice like every now and then. So I'm like, I want to be at your event. And I
Yeah.
reached out to them. I said, I want to create this virtual experience. Basically creating this link. You guys can send it to everyone attending the event, and people could take photos while they're on their bikes or skateboards. And it's fully branded with like super mush and all that
So
good stuff.
cool.
So honestly, everyone loved it. They were at the beach dancing and taking
Yeah.
photos. It was just such a vibe.
I love that.
loved it.
And people can be anywhere, like
Yeah.
in real
Right.
time,
Yeah.
and be able to document those moments and have them be branded.
exactly.
That is,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
It's fun to connect, you know, if you're doing a brand that has
Yeah.
offices in Tokyo and
Yeah.
offices in,
Oh,
wherever.
totally.
Yeah, to be
Yeah.
able to, you know, not have them get left out because headquarters is in LA
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought about that as well. It's like, okay, if they're hosting a Christmas party and not everyone can show up, we could at least add on that virtual experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone is involved.
Yeah.
And it's not like a cheesy thing. Like it's,
Yeah.
I feel like that's fun. Like I saw it for 1 second. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, it looks like a photo booth. Like I
yeah,
want
and
to
then
do it.
we could collect emails. So then
Yeah.
if, say, it's an event and they're trying to learn more about their demographic or want SMS email marketing
Sure.
for future campaigns, yeah, we just collect all that data for them and then they could use that for marketing.
That is,
which is great.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I'm excited
Yeah.
to check
Yeah.
it out. I can't wait.
It's so fun.
Cool. So, I mean, that was kind
I
of
feel
a,
like we got off topic.
no, it's great. It was a natural segue because I know you recently did it like a big, you know, brand refresh, overhaul,
Yeah.
you know, however you want to describe it. You know, walk me through why,
Yeah.
or you know, intention behind that. How did you land on that style? You know, and then we'll get into like
Yeah.
staying inspired and innovating in the industry and all that
Definitely.
kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So basically, I feel like you guys have seen us throughout the years. It's just always rebranding and trying to figure out where you're at as you grow and like grow your business. And just the last few months, I'm really sat on the idea of like, okay, photo booth. Everyone loves a photo booth, and a lot of people don't know the history of a photo booth. It was actually created in 1889. The first one started then. And then the first photo booth that showed up was actually in New York City in 1925 during the Great Depression.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was
Yes.
in New York. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, on Broadway. So that always like is very close to my heart of like
Yeah.
really capturing people through the years, right? Like even through hardship and hard times.
Yeah.
People were still taking photos.
Yeah.
And like, even though they didn't have money at the time to say hire a photographer, anything like that, they would still spend 25 cents to take a photo booth photo and keep that photo. And it was a lasting memory.
Yeah.
And so that has always been special to me. And I've always felt like, okay, I want to speak to every demographic, right? And so in the past, over the years, I felt like we really captured the audience of boomers and millennials. And now I have to work at capturing Gen Z. AI is like, oh my gosh, there's so much out there every day. I'm like learning something new. There's so much technology. And so it's like, how do you translate, you know, something that you love so dearly to a new audience that I don't even know at times, you know?
Yeah.
It's very unfamiliar, and I'm always trying to stay with the trends and like just listen to everyone talking about things going on, right? So I just felt like, okay, this is the last rebrand that I want to do for a while because I really want it to be special to all generations. So now, like part of all three generations.
Yeah.
And to me, even the color choices were very specific. I chose like blue, masculine, and then pink, just very feminine, and just still with the sand of the desert and just being like classic and timeless. I feel like it's a play of like both masculine and feminine and just, yeah, being bold. And I feel like with our website and everything, it's very innovative and creative and fun and different. So,
Yeah. I love that. I feel like, again, since like I discovered you in your brand, it's always, it just feels very authentic, genuine. different in a really
Yeah.
great way.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to tell you too, I remember, when we had met up after our wedding, we spent like the
Yeah.
whole day together, which was
Yes.
so fun. But I feel very inspired by you because I see that in you, that like you're always excited and willing to
Yes.
learn and try. I
Absolutely.
remember talking to you about that a lot that day when we had
Yeah.
lunch and just
Yeah.
hung out, and I was like, I just love that. I
Yeah.
love that you're always trying new things.
Always.
And
But sometimes I
educating
feel like
yourself.
it bites me in the ass.
yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, does that take away trust with our
Mm.
clients, right? Like every time I rebrand, refresh, they're like, okay, is it still Sarah behind the
Yeah.
business? I'm like, yes, it's me. It's me. I just tried to really stay up with the trends.
Yeah.
And I love trend forecasting. I
Yeah.
think it's so fun and like exciting and like to see everything, but also you can really bite yourself,
Yeah.
I guess, with staying too trendy, right?
For sure.
And
But I
just-
feel like you're pairing the two.
Yes,
Like you were saying.
absolutely.
Like you're really identifying like
Yeah.
what you want the brand to be and like to turn it into
Represent.
something timeless.
Yeah. I think I put on our website, we're the new nostalgia
Ooh.
to something timeless
Yeah.
in a digital age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
Well, because I think that's a common thing I notice in the industry is one, the industry, weddings and events in general, can be like more so weddings, but it can be pretty archaic sometimes,
Yeah.
and it can be very slow. You know, the wheels turn very slowly, and people change very slowly, or they're just very
Yeah.
committed to like how they do things. But then on the flip side of that, I feel like sometimes the pendulum goes too far the other way, where everyone's trying like to do too much or too, the next thing every
Yeah.
like 5 seconds.
Yes.
When you're saying like too
Yes.
trendy,
Yeah.
and it's like that can almost come off as a little like inauthentic almost, or like I don't know. There's not a lot of like substance there when
Yeah,
those people are just like
absolutely.
constantly, recycling and doing new
Yeah.
things.
And I think with clients and brides in particular is building trust, right?
Yeah.
And building trust with people in, your industry
Mm-hmm.
and just vendors on a daily basis, right? And when you're constantly changing, it's like, okay, is that good for my business or can it hurt my business,
Yeah.
And so I always try to reiterate to vendors and brides, like, no, it's still me. I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, it's me.
Yeah,
I'm still behind the business 100%. And I'm always trying to be innovative and create and just always bring that high quality service every single time. It might look a little different, but as we grow, it's exciting. It's
Yeah.
new. There's new technology coming out every single day. And
Yeah.
so I just always want to capture my audience in that way of being innovative, but also timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel like because you know and understand like your market,
Yeah.
then that's where the trust comes in. Like when people see
I'm
you
like,
doing
I don't
different
understand
things.
Gen Z yet. I'm trying
getting
to.
there.
Yeah. But I feel like, honestly, with every experience that they see my photo booth, they're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And what's crazy is they're going insane, like insane. They freak out when I hand them a print.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
like,
love
what?
that. Because
Yeah.
I think
Everything's
Paired-
digital.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
paired with obviously so much of our lives are
Yeah.
in the digital space, we all still, I believe, crave something tangible.
Yeah.
Like going back
absolutely.
to like why I love
Yeah.
the photos from our wedding on
Yeah.
the fridge, or like I eat up looking through like my family like photo albums and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
letters, and just like being able to like
Have something
grasp a
tangible.
memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I feel
Yeah,
like,
it's
physical media in general. I mean, like, and it's not even in just our industry, in the music industry, just like worldwide, there's this super oversaturation of everything being digital and,
Yeah.
Everything's on an Instagram feed or whatever. And I mean, for us, that was a big reason for the rotary phone, like something real,
Yeah.
not like, because we had people being like, well, why don't you just, have some virtual thing? And we do have a virtual experience similar
Yeah.
for, if people can't make it or
Yeah,
whatever. But like the main piece of it is to have something interactive and,
Yeah.
have something that they can touch and feel. And then when it comes to like our keepsakes, the vinyl record, like the
Yeah.
vinyl industry, they crossed $1 billion last year, and it's like
Wow.
surging. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
that's amazing.
it's this weird duality. And I think everyone's trying to really, I don't know, figure it out is the right word, but everyone's trying to like balance everything that you're saying, like AI and all this new
Yeah.
technology, and everything's like trend and hip and cool or whatever.
Yes.
But then on the flip side, there's kind of this like reverse direction back to physical media. Like
Yeah.
people freaking out about a photo strip, you know,
Yeah.
like we still have photo strips, you know, over the years from us dating and stuff, from like a
Yeah.
random bar we'll go
Yeah.
into, or, you know, things
Oh,
like
I
that.
test every photo booth. Every time
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
one,
yeah.
I'm like always in a photo booth. I
Yeah.
don't care how much it costs me. I will spend $50 on
Right.
photo booths.
I love that.
I will go to every single one. I'm like, hey, it's market research.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is.
Well, and
And
it's,
yeah.
you know,
It's so special.
it's also just an indication, you know, of like cool things that are out there. I mean, like Ace Hotel, for example, like
Yeah.
they have Palm Springs, New York, whatever. They have a photo booth in
Yeah.
all their locations, and
Yeah.
you know, there's reasons for that, and
Yes.
it's this, I don't know, it's 2024, and there's all this AI and all this crazy tech and stuff, but also at the same time, it's this huge return to like physical media and like wanting, you know,
I
like
think
keepsake.
this is where, like, what I've realized, I guess, is that with Gen Z, I feel like they're trying to get back to how we grew up in a way,
Yep.
right? And just have those tangible things
Yeah.
and like create those memories because we had those, right?
Yeah.
We had the flip phones, we had just beads and bracelets,
Mm-hmm.
butterfly clips, like everything's super cute and fun. And it
Yeah.
was just us being us, you
Yeah.
know? And like now everyone, it's going back to that, I guess.
Yeah.
And those memories of like actual photos and having them in hand and then say printed albums and then
Yes.
recordings. And, like,
Scrapbooks, like
Yeah.
that whole era too. Like, yeah.
oh, I remember I used to get down on scrapbooking.
Yeah. I'm like craving to do it now because
Yeah.
I see it so much. I'm like,
Let's
oh,
have a
it's
scrapbooking
fun.
party.
Yeah, I want to make
Yeah.
bracelets
Yeah.
and like
Let's
just
do it.
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Let's
Crafts.
host a party for anyone wanting to come. I'll have a photo booth and
Yeah.
So fun.
we could do
A
bracelet
scrapbook event.
making and yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's plan it. Let's
Yeah,
plan
let's
it.
do
That
it.
sounds amazing.
That's awesome. So, you know, speaking of all that, we can start to feel it now because the audio guest book industry is becoming a thing, which that
Oh,
in itself
definitely.
is very, that's just a weird.
Which is actually very popular in the photo booth industry as well.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
crossover going over there, but you know, so we see it now just being, you know, in the market and in the industry watching it, and obviously there's pros and cons to that, and you know, we won't get into a ton of it, but what I was curious about you is because I used to tell people photo booths were kind of the closest comparison to like a new industry within the wedding industry.
Okay.
Because it was, you know, this thing that when I started weddings, even like
Yeah.
6-7 years ago, it wasn't the craziest thing, but
Yeah.
then everyone realized like, oh, this is really cool. And then
Yeah.
it kept blossoming and kept growing. And
Yeah.
so I was curious how, you know, you've noticed that over the last couple of years, like watching the photo booth industry,
Oh, yeah.
you know, staying in front of things or just staying true to yourself, you know, like not caring about what other people are
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
doing, you know, community over competition, you know, all those kind of
Yes,
things. Yeah,
all the
yeah,
good stuff.
yeah.
So I absolutely love the photo booth community. It's
Yeah.
incredible, and having the podcast really created this just new way of the industry, I feel like. And Katie and I did a great job of like just honing in on that.
Yeah.
And I feel like over the years, like, so we went from 2019 working events where everyone started knowing who we were because I was really educating clients on the service that we were providing and basically ruffling those feathers,
Yeah.
right? And so in 2019, I remember hearing at a wedding, this girl, she goes, "Oh my gosh, Desert Luna's here." She's like, "I better take a cute photo in the photo booth. I want to make sure Sarah posts it on Instagram." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, seriously?" I felt so honored.
Yeah.
Like that was huge for me.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. And then boom, like we didn't even exist anymore. So then I had to really like come back of like, okay, I have to rebuild the name again. I have to reestablish. Now there's new photo booth owners in the industry that are, they didn't even go through COVID.
Yeah.
They're just starting out, right? And so now there's a whole entire side of the industry where it's new photo booth owners. In the last year, so many have popped up, like just even in Southern California.
Yeah.
So it's just like, wow, it's so like innovative, growing every single day. Like I feel like I'm constantly trying to like keep up.
Yeah.
And seeing all these people following us, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It's a whole new way of life in the photo booth world. And I'm like, okay, I am excited to, I guess, put out all these resources. That's the new thing for me. I'm going to put out all these resources for new photo booth owners, even photo booth owners looking to grow and expand their business.
Yeah.
How I go about running my team and doing all these things and running 200 to 300 events a year and just still remaining sane and not go insane, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think that's where I've just been at in the last few months of just like, okay, the industry is very innovative, exciting. There's so much out there, and just trying to evolve with all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the industry, what would be, I know resources is like a big thing you're going to be pushing,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. But like for you, it seems like you've landed, who you are, what you're about.
Photo booth.
Yeah, right. What you embrace and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. What would be a piece of advice you would give to whether it's a new photo booth owner or just someone in the wedding and event industry that are like, it's something that I notice a lot. A lot of new people are popping up with whatever sector they're in, whether
Yeah.
it's photo booth, catering, whatever, photo, video. And I see a lot of people, as we all do, you start out kind of mimicking stuff because
Yeah.
like you think it's
Oh,
cool or whatever, and
absolutely.
then you keep going and you keep iterating and you
Yeah.
eventually find your voice. What would be, a piece of advice to those people stuck in that phase where they're trying to figure out their own brand and voice?
Okay.
How can they get from A to B?
Yeah. I would say don't copy because we all work so hard for the photos that we have. I was even looking back on your guys' album because I'm like, oh my gosh, Rhea did such a good job, like
Yeah.
even capturing photo booth photos. I'm like, how cute. So just going back and using those things, like we have so much content,
Sure.
over the years, right? And I know it's hard when you first start out, but just, I guess, being your own self in all of that, right?
Yeah.
So if you have all your equipment, set it up, take
Yeah.
photos. Like our phone is just as good as anything these days, right?
Yeah.
Or get an
Right.
old camera and do something filmy and fun and different, right? Just creating something new in the industry that is completely you.
Yeah.
I feel like I have finally gotten to the point in our business of like, this is me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the website, color palettes, all of it, it's me, authentically
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And finally, I'm like, nothing has held me back. Through the years, we've had a lot of copycats. Like
Yeah.
just, I do one thing, I create a backdrop, someone's copying me, like just moments later.
Yeah.
There's a lot of copycats and I'm at the point where I'm like, nope, no more. I'm just going to put it all out there.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm showing up authentically as myself.
Yeah.
And if you love who I am, then great.
Yeah.
Totally.
Here's my resources. Here's all the info. I would love to help you. I want to help small business owners, achieve
Yeah.
something great for their family, and
Yeah.
I just believe, like every small business owner has a family and they're with a team. Like, you have team members, they're going home to their families and you're paying their
100%.
salary, and like you're putting food on their table. So I think just helping people in the small business world would be great.
Yeah. I mean,
I like that.
and speaking of the U.S.,
Yeah.
there's 2.1 million weddings last year,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
like, unless someone's doing
Well, it's like
2.1 million events,
$1 billion industry.
yeah, there's this whole competition thing, and obviously
Yeah.
there's part of it, and lots of ego gets involved, and whatever, all of that. But like, there's this tendency sometimes for people in the industry to get on like the scarcity side of like, well, if you book that wedding, I'm not going to get one. And it's like, hey, man, there's stuff to go around for everybody. And like, to your point, like, obviously I want everyone to be successful.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're all fighting over the same 5 weddings or
Yes.
something like that,
Yeah.
like, or events, there's,
That's how it
millions.
is in my world.
yeah.
I feel like it's a dog eat dog world, basically. Who's the cheapest price? But to me, it's like, no, I know my worth. I know the service I provide. I know the
100%.
quality. And you get that every single time, no matter what. If
Yeah.
it's me or my attendants going out, my attendants are me.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
They are
They're
a
an
spitting
extension.
image of me. Yeah. So they wear cute outfits. They look great. They show up on time. They, go above and beyond. They will stay an extra 5 to 15 minutes if people are taking photos. Like they are an extension of me.
Yeah.
And I know that. And that is the value that I have in my business when it's cheaper it's, you know, I get a call the week before their wedding. Oh my gosh, they canceled on me, or something happens.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have a photo booth available for you anymore because
Yeah.
we're a week
And
out.
that's hard
you know?
when you
Yeah.
have to turn somebody down at that point. But I
Definitely.
think that's a big piece. Like,
Yeah.
you do invest in quality too,
definitely.
right? Like, and there's pieces of that, like you're saying, like you are in every part
Yeah.
of it. And if it's not you who's actually at the event, it
Yeah.
really, it basically is,
Yeah.
because you've put so much time and care into, you know,
Training, yes.
and developing your business
Yep.
in the last 5 years too.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I totally understand that. And I think we obviously resonate with
Yeah.
like the quality piece too.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's something-
absolutely.
Well, and I
So
think
important.
that's something that can't get overstated. You know, it's very easy to get caught up in the world these days, and
Yeah.
everything's Amazon, everything's, you know, next day shipping, and you know,
Yeah.
you want things now, and you want it super cheap, and like that's the expectation,
Mm-hmm.
and that can bleed into like the wedding and event industry. And then
Yeah.
the flip side of that is like there's downsides to that a lot when
Yeah.
you don't have a quality vendor. And you know,
Yes.
like for us, that was a big thing with our wedding, was investing in quality vendors that
Yeah.
we could trust and that we
Yeah.
knew could deliver, you know, a quality product. And even the nature of the industry itself, it's weddings and events. Like these aren't, you know, an Amazon shirt order you can just
Yeah.
return or whatever.
Exactly.
You know, this is a one-time event, whether
Yeah.
it's a wedding, which obviously
Yeah.
we can't overstate, you know, the emotional importance of that. But like
Yeah.
even brand activations, you know, if
Yeah.
Coca-Cola is doing
Yeah.
a $250,000 activation, you know,
Yeah.
they're not going to be stoked if the product doesn't
Yes,
come out right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
yeah. Or if we fail at delivering photos or doing anything, right?
right.
Yeah.
And I pour everything into my time with a client, you know, and I just feel like that's where I always like go back to something one of my college professors said to me. Do something 100%. Don't try to do a million things, because it will lose like that quality,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you try to do a million things, basically you're going to lose insight to what it is you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And just operations, something will go wrong. He's like, just focus on one thing and do it well.
Yeah.
100%, or even give 150%. So that has always stuck with me of, yeah, I'm the photo booth girl, but I give all.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not having a phone as part of my add-ons, you know?
Right,
and so
right.
I stay true to all of that, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm editing all the photos, you know, from our printer booth. I'm editing all of those.
Yeah.
I'm sending the emails. I'm sending the brochures. All of my time is poured into the business, right? And like scheduling attendance, doing all of it.
Yeah.
I'm the only one doing it all.
Yeah.
Running marketing, Instagram.
Sure.
So I feel like when vendors basically are like honestly out just for the money, I feel
Yeah.
like that's where it really gets lost. And then things are missed, and then clients are disappointed. There's so many aspects of it. And to me, I've never been about the money. It's been about just being there for the memories and
Yeah.
capturing these photos with people you love. Yeah.
For sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think that's something important for vendors, especially if you're newer in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it goes for life too, but like to be focused on being genuine
Yeah.
and like you probably shouldn't be in the industry if you don't actually care about
Yeah.
what you're doing. Because
Exactly.
sure, you might make a few bucks or whatever,
Yeah.
but you're going to hit the COVID or you're going to hit
Yes.
the down season
Yeah.
or like the hard times or whatever.
Yeah.
And the only way you get through those is if you actually like, that's what we talk about all the time is like, we care about what we do.
Yeah.
Like we loved, you know, having our voicemails at our wedding and
Yeah.
all we're trying to do is just give that to other people.
Yeah.
And it's such a life-giving thing for us, you know, when we see a review come in about how stoked they were and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, that carries you through the challenging times.
Oh, I'm sure you guys like read reviews sometimes where you're just like, oh my God, like crying like you were there with them
Yeah.
because it really like,
Yeah.
sits with you. Yeah, that's me.
And like, you know, what's funny is a lot of my vendor friends that I'm really close with, and I think they're all quality people. It's something similar where they always post their reviews like on their Instagram stories
Yeah.
and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's this common thread of, it's such a validating thing to be like, I really care about this service I'm trying to offer you. And,
Yeah.
you know, getting that response back is great. Obviously, you know, not everyone reviews and that's totally fine too. But just to get that
Yeah.
it's a validating thing. And it kind of just proves like, I care about that more than anything. Like I care about my clients having a great experience more than, you know,
Yeah,
I'm not really
exactly.
interested in anything else. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think that's
Same.
really important as you're
Just
building yourself
5-star
up.
service every single time
Right.
and providing that, because I think it absolutely breaks my heart when I can't provide 5-star service.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was a transition too, where it was like, okay, post COVID, now transitioning, running a team. Doing all these things, right? We had to make up for what we lost the previous year.
Yeah.
Then grow a team. We had over 100 events basically not paid
Yeah.
for the year, where
Right.
I was paying out of pocket
Wow.
to staff and run those 100+ events,
Yeah.
which was
Because you kept your
insane.
promise.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Wow.
And yeah, just trying to transition after that into basically running events. Randall and I were out running events, doing it all, and then a team, and just trying to figure out, oh my gosh, we got to like grow. We need to make numbers, all these
Yeah.
things, right? And I'm at a point right now in the business where it's like, you know, you have a team out there. Yes, it's an extension of me, but I lost sight personally of like, I guess, seeing what I was working for, like working so hard for, right?
Yeah.
Every single day, just grinding, like 200 to 300 events in a year is a lot. And so I had to take a step back. And honestly, after the split, so I split up with Randall, and just trying to transition, and all of that has been very eye-opening, and just what's important to me, and going back to basically the roots of the business.
Yes.
And what's special to me, and like just being there for our clients, showing up fully, and just taking my time.
Yeah.
It's my business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and just, I'm not out for money. I'm there to create lasting memories that really, you know, just capture your special day.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's so much fun. Like being there at a wedding with people, like I don't even know most of these people, but I feel like I'm just tied to their family. And then they,
Yeah.
oh
You
my
do
gosh,
become a
yeah,
big piece of
exactly.
like
Yeah.
one of their most important days of their lives, and like you are,
Yeah.
you know, the person who's helping like
Yeah.
create and deliver those
Yeah.
memories too.
We're
So-
basically, well, with the photo booth, we're basically entertaining as well.
You are,
Like,
Right.
yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's strike a pose.
Yeah.
Like, grab a prop. Let's have
Get people
fun.
laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being silly.
We were just talking about that last week, I believe, more so like on like the DJ and music side, but
Yeah.
it is like such a big piece, and like
Yeah.
Oh, I go home exhausted.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you
I
are
sit in silence
Yeah.
afterwards
Yeah.
because I am entertaining. I am like just putting myself out there of like, I don't even know these people, but
Yeah.
I'm being silly, and let's capture the best photo.
yeah,
Take your time, take as many photos as you want,
Yeah.
you know, here you go, here's a print, all these things. And I think that's the hardest part of, I guess, the vendor side of it, is that I'm constantly entertaining and connecting with all these amazing, incredible people at weddings. And then, say, post event on socials, vendors aren't tagging us. And then they'll say, oh, you weren't, you know, you're not on the vendor list, or you weren't a vendor that was there. And I'm like, I spent 4 hours entertaining
I did
Yeah.
see you
100
there,
to
so it was.
300 guests,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Our biggest wedding was 660 something guests. Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh,
I think it was 662 guests. Yeah.
that's huge.
That's like a small army.
Yeah. So for vendors to be like, oh, no, I'm not going to tag you. No, I'm not going to do this, or we won't be credited.
Yeah.
I'm like, we were a huge vendor to
Yeah.
entertaining all the guests.
Yeah.
Like I lost my voice. I'm exhausted. Like
Yeah.
that was a 8-hour day for me.
Yeah.
You know, like I was there, and
Yeah.
you still tagged the porta potties, but
Yeah.
you can't tag me.
And you all come
So,
together like you. It's
yeah.
an entire vendor team. Everybody
Yeah.
who's there is working together to like make this.
There's
event
literally
like
no
this.
downside for
Yeah.
everyone to tag each other.
Yeah.
Because everyone gets in front
Exactly.
of everybody's audiences.
This has
and
been the
stuff.
most challenging thing for me over the last year and a half, 2 years. Like planners, photographers, just people not wanting to tag me at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Even when you reach out and
Mhm.
request.
Yeah.
Wow, that is really
Whoa.
Yeah.
interesting.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, again, it just speaks to this like I don't know. There's two feelings in the industry. There's like the super community oriented side,
Yes.
and then there's like that kind of
Yeah.
weird side where
Yeah.
Which I get, like, forgetting, obviously,
Yeah.
especially if there's like a huge list, but then you can like maybe reach out to a
Yeah.
planner and say like, hey, can I have
Mm-hmm.
the list of like each vendor and
yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
have
those
to
things.
hound most people. I'm like always hounding, and I feel so annoying for doing it. But I'm like, hey, we were at this wedding,
Yeah.
love celebrating. Do you mind tagging? And then they'll private message me and be like, oh, yeah, we just didn't feel like it, or like
Whoa.
XYZ, like have an excuse, or you're just not like at the top vendor list. And I'm like,
Whoa.
really? Like,
so interesting.
I just went through and edited like 500 photos
Yeah.
in a photo booth gallery.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And photos that are going like that,
We're-
I'm sure you would be
Yes.
more than happy to share with all
Yeah.
of the vendors.
Oh,
and all the people there.
absolutely.
So, wow, that's
We were
That's a
even
bummer.
featured in Brides Magazine, and the planner didn't even tag us in it. And I hounded them. Like, I have the contact for Brides Magazine.
wow.
Yeah, I have everyone, and they like still never like republished or tagged me in anything.
That's
And
such
they
a bummer.
used 3 of my photos.
I'm so
yeah.
sorry.
Really?
Yes.
That's frustrating, and that's
Yeah.
hard
Yeah.
when you like we're talking about. You're
Yeah.
such a genuine person. You put like your heart and soul
Yes.
into everything.
Oh, yeah.
So,
In everything that we do. And I feel like we're a very special vendor, like equivalent to a DJ,
Right.
anyone there, right?
Yeah.
Like capturing these photos that basically like entertain your entire
yeah, and
Yeah,
you give
like-
a perspective to the night
Yeah.
that like
like all the guests are like hanging around the photo booth all night,
Yeah.
you know? And so it's just
For
like,
sure.
yeah, to not even be credited in that, it just, yeah, kind of sucks at times.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish there was more of that community, I guess, in
Yeah.
the industry.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we feel the same way. Like,
Yeah.
I just, even when I was a videographer, it was the same thing. Like, we try to, if we get tagged in something, obviously, because, scale, we're at
Yeah.
a lot of events, and
Yeah.
I see those vendor lists on Instagram, it's like 20 people deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's always
Oh,
cool
yeah.
to, like, see somebody that's newer also get tagged and get thrown in. And,
Yeah.
it's just, it hurts nobody and it helps
Yeah.
everybody. So I would
Exactly.
hope that, people can,
Yeah.
in 2024, be more
Yeah.
open.
Mindful.
And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
one of the biggest things, even though I totally understand that it's frustrating, is like just continuing to like do like again, be authentic, be your genuine self, and like do what you would want others to do. So
Exactly.
and I see
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
with you, like
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
being collaborative, sharing other vendors, like all of those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So
Lead from the front,
Yes.
lead by example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even when we blog something on our website, so at one point we had 2.3 million views on our website in 1 month.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we get a lot of traction. I think the most inquiries we had in 1 month was like 143 inquiries.
wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So
And are they all like local to Southern California, or now that
they're
you're
everywhere.
expanding
Last
out,
night
like-
I saw someone looking at our website in Switzerland and then
Would
you ever do
Colorado,
it?
Texas. Well, they're coming out here to like Palm Springs to get
cool.
married.
Cool.
So I feel like, yeah, people
Yeah.
Love
reach
that.
us worldwide and they're like, oh
you
my
came
gosh.
to us in Santa Barbara,
Yeah.
which was so
Yeah,
fun.
Yes, you did.
exactly.
Yeah.
Appreciate
So
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so I feel like we do a lot of, we're in Palm Springs, Santa Barbara, like you said, we do a lot of like destination weddings in
Sure.
that way, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like we have a lot of eyes on our website and our reach is so far out there. So when I blog, I basically include all the vendors because they're looking,
Yeah.
and for other vendors not to tag, I'm like, hey, this can go both ways,
Yeah.
like we have a big reach
Yeah.
that would be incredible
Support one another.
for say
Totally.
a photographer, wedding planner, anyone. So
And
Yeah.
I'm sure when you find like those vendors that you really do connect
yes,
with, like
absolutely.
you see them over and over probably at events
Yes.
because people start to
Right.
recognize like just what a great team
Yeah.
that you are together.
Oh, I finally connected with Courtney Tibbetts.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love her.
Yeah.
I've worked with her so many times in the past, but never met her in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my gosh, you're here IRL. And she was actually wearing these checkered pants too. And we just hit it off. And
That's
she's
awesome.
like, I never smile for anyone in the photo booth. And I got her to smile. And so we just connected finally, like
Yeah.
after working so many years together
Yeah.
and never actually met her in real life.
Wow.
And so I think that's what really brought me back to being authentic and showing up and remembering what I do this for, you know? And so just the last couple weeks, she's booked me for so many weddings. I'm like,
Oh, cool.
see,
That's
that's what it's
amazing.
about.
It
yeah,
is,
working
yeah.
together to be with the right people and just to
Exactly.
align.
I said that, I think we said that last episode, but like in the industry, the more that you're yourself, I know there's this pressure to try to like be someone or act a certain way or like whatever, but the more that you're yourself, all you're going to do is start to gravitate other vendors that are similar, you know, to your vibe
Absolutely.
or whatever near you. And then like there's a reason why vendors like to work with their select vendors is because they trust them, they like their vibe, the quality that they bring and stuff. So like if you're newer and you're trying to like develop that network, the easiest path to do that is by being yourself because you know you'll start to gravitate. It happens so fast. Like
I'll preach that till I'm blue in the
Yeah.
face. Be you.
yeah, right. And it's
Yeah.
you know it's really cool to see those networks start to develop from that.
Yeah.
And I think
Absolutely.
on the other end, it's something that I'm, trying to work on and learn. As genuine as I try to be, I also have to remember that like it's just not possible for like me to be for every single person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
exactly.
those moments
It's okay.
when you do connect with those people
Yeah.
that make you feel like, oh my gosh, this is why I love doing what I do, you
Yep.
know, is so important. I feel like I really felt that when we did wedding MBA or just like getting to like talk to like-minded people or clients that like
Connect.
told stories in real life in person, like
Yeah.
talking face to face is just,
Yes.
it gives you that.
And something similar to you guys. Like I keep saying, I feel like I really resonated with the first episode because I feel your struggle through the years, you know, and like just growing your new business and trying to like figure out that and transition from videography to, you know, something new that really took off and then took off fast. And that was me as well. And like building a team and trying to grow and like, okay, now expanding on that and like I don't know how to be a boss at times and trying to figure it out and like, oh my gosh, I hope my team doesn't hate me. But you like need to like get these things done. You need to run a business.
Sure.
You know, and just even looking at labor costs and numbers and making sure your business is running great, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And caring about all of those people too,
Yes,
at the same time, clients and employees, and having those really human moments because I can resonate where I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this is
How do I handle this conversation? You know, what decision should I make on this? You know, all that kind of
there's
stuff.
so much that goes on behind the scenes that I think a lot of people don't realize, and I don't think I really realized like, you know, before this all happened, even working in other jobs where it's like we're still like real people and like humans that have, I don't know, so many things, feelings, experiences, relationships.
And like you're learning in all of this as you grow. Like everything is a learning curve. You test something out, see if it works. If it doesn't work, okay, that's a failure. You have to deal with it emotionally, mentally. Then your business has to deal with it financially.
Totally.
Just all those things, those aspects that people don't see behind the scenes, you know? And I think as we grew, I tried to basically not be so much the face anymore because I went from showing face and like, hey, this is me and showing up, and then after the fact it's like, okay, I'm not going to be at every event. I have team members, so I can't really like, you know, be the face of it because people are going to expect me there and then be disappointed. But then I felt like in a way that also like didn't put a face to the business, right? And it felt cold.
Faceless and we can resonate with that. Try to keep things as personal as possible while growing.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was an interview with the CEO of NVIDIA, which is the nerds out there will know what I'm talking about, but it's
what is that?
It's,
I don't think I'm
it's a
that
billion-dollar
nerdy
company.
enough.
Yeah, they do like graphics cards for computers, and it's in the tech world, electronics. And they're obviously billion-dollar company, massive. And this guy was asking like, what would you tell your younger self if you were to like redo it or whatever? And he said, if I could go back, I wouldn't do it. And
I think I saw this video.
his point was like, you know, as an entrepreneur or like if you're building a business or whatever, there's
Yeah.
so much that you don't know is going to happen to you that like if you knew what you were going to go
Yeah.
through and you could go back, you probably wouldn't do it. So, but then he ended it, you know, like saying, but that's the superpower of somebody that, you know,
Yeah.
is running their own business or whatever, is because you can kind of just keep going. But like it
Keep
is,
trying, keep pursuing.
yeah, there's a lot of trials that come that you
Yes.
don't know about. And I mean,
Yes.
I've ran into things I never would have imagined over the last 3 years. And, you know,
Yeah.
we have those conversations all the time. Like, geez, like this is crazy.
Like,
But-
how did I get through?
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so just to touch on that, but okay, cool.
And I think honestly, to like just kind of finish that,
Yeah.
just seeing how you overcome those things. Like, I've learned so much about myself of like just the strength that you have.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
man, to like look back to see like how I did things compared to now. I'm
Yeah.
sure with you guys, it's just like, okay, yeah, even though it's been a roller coaster of so many different emotions and trying to figure it out along the way, like come out so much stronger. And like, I wouldn't trade it for the world,
Yeah.
honestly.
I agree. I think the experience is
Yeah.
like worth its weight in gold.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's challenging
Yes.
and hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
when you're
trial
able
by
to
fire.
look, yeah,
Yeah.
on the other side, you're like, wow.
Yeah. I
Absolutely.
wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
Cool. So wrapping up,
Yeah.
Desert Luna. I know we've kind of touched on it, but I wanted to
Yeah.
give you a chance. You know,
Yeah.
where do you see yourself? Where is Desert Luna going to be in 3 to 5 years?
Ooh, this is so exciting because I feel like I'm finally showing up in this space,
Yeah.
authentically me, 100% brand, putting myself out there, diving into the community. I'm excited to start working on bigger projects and bigger scale. So that's kind of where I'm sitting at right now, of making the decision of having Randall run that side of like the wedding side of things and a
Yeah.
team, which would be great. And then moving forward, I would love to start getting into more corporate events, branded activations, doing bigger scale things like working with artists and actually doing things in the city to create some kind of new photo moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, tying in the city and artists and creatives together to create 2 different photo moments.
Okay.
And then really expand on digital marketing. So
Cool.
yeah, and then I have like a passion project that I'm working on. We were kind of talking about it, but I would love to talk with you guys more about incorporating something with the phone through
Oh, yeah.
that. So
Love.
Love it.
I would just love to spread joy and happiness to the world.
Sweet.
That's where I'm at. And yeah, just seeing what happens with all of it and creating a photo moment, but also like realizing that a lot of people go through hard times and hardship, you know, and to come together as like a community to just really spread joy and happiness, or just someone to chat to, or just not feel alone in that space,
Yeah.
I feel like is huge. And I feel like a lot of people are craving it. So I'm just ready
Absolutely.
to just like bring everyone together and be like, hey, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Totally.
I've been
Community,
through
connection.
so many ups and downs over the last few years, you know? So I would just love to be there for people in that way of spreading joy and happiness to the world in some way.
Sweet.
Always a smiley face.
I love that.
Love
Keep
it.
smiling.
Yeah, totally.
I have it everywhere all the time. Just keep smiling.
Oh my gosh, I
Oh,
love
that's
that so
awesome.
much. The rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cute.
Awesome. Cool. Our final segment.
Okay.
Obviously, we're an audio guestbook company. We're audio focused, so we do this segment in our podcast called On Speed Dial, where they call someone you love segment. So we're gonna ask you real quick,
Okay.
if you have anyone on your speed dial, and if you would call them on speaker right now
Okay.
and tell them that
Yeah.
you love them.
Okay.
Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Sweet.
Let's see who answers.
I love it.
My sister sent me to voicemail when I called her.
This is my sister from another mister.
Love.
Mm.
So we'll see if she answers. Oh no. Usually she answers.
It's okay.
Please leave your message for
Hi, you're on the podcast. I just want to tell you that I love you. I'm so thankful for you in my life, and I appreciate you sincerely. Okay, talk to you later.
Love it.
That was
So
my friend
cute.
Vanessa. Yeah. She actually lives in my building that I'm at right now, and we met, and she's just been like a sister to me. So she's really helped me through this transition in life. So
Good.
yeah, it's
Good.
been incredible.
I love that so
Yeah.
much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for doing that.
Yeah,
Thanks for
of
hopping on.
course. Yeah.
Great show. We're gonna wrap up. Appreciate everyone for listening.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. So yeah, thank you everyone, and we'll see you next week.